Don't know what to say.
पहले सीधा करो गाड़ी में
बोलो उसको निकालना ऐसे पर रखिए नहीं ठीक है बोलिए उसको निकाल देंगे.
Found her body just off this Forest Service.
Look at this. Must be the cockpit here.
On August 6th, 2022, Luke from Outdoor Boys headed out alone into the remote mountains of Alaska. Known for camping and survival content centered on careful planning, this trip unfolded far from help, across glaciers and unstable ground, where isolation quietly amplified every choice.
Check it out right there in that ice field. That's a crashed Air Force bomber. All right, I'm gonna grab this stone here. So if I slip, I can try to stop myself. I really should have brought crampons or an ice axe. See right here, this is ice. I step on this, all the way down to the bottom. If I stay in this white soft stuff, I got pretty good traction. That dark stuff is death traps. All this stuff right here is so steep and so icy. So I'm gonna try to get into this rock field so I can have something to hold on to. And up there on that steeper part, I can tell that's soft snow. So I'm gonna go across on the rock, stay high, and then come down on the snow. Decided to come over here because the snow looked a little softer, but there's a very slick sheet of ice underneath about 1 inch of soft snow. I don't have any business being up here. I mean, look at this. That is so slick. I am going to head back to safe snow and then reevaluate. If I get some momentum, I am just not going to stop. I think my best bet is to go over here, see if I can find a safe way down, and then to trek across the valley on the flatter spot. This is so icy. I think I might have found a spot down. Looks like there's this little crack in the snow that goes all the way across. Might be able to use that to get across.
The setting felt calm, but harsh. That balance shifted on Bomber Glacier. Snow hid slick ice underneath, forcing Luke to move slowly and rethink every step. It was there he admitted a serious limitation. He did not have specialized glacier gear.
What is that? Look at this. This must be the cockpit here. So this plane is a TB-29 Super Fortress. It's the training version of the B-29 Super Fortress. Crash happened in 1957. The plane had 10 crew members and was coming back from a training mission, got off course and lost in some bad weather and struck this mountain. The main part of the fuselage is down here. Parachute right here. There's engine number 3. This monument honors those that stand and those who have fallen in the service of our country. May you take with you from this place a renewed respect for all those that protect our freedom. U.S. Air Force. These tires have been here for 70 years. They look pretty good. My guess is that there's a lot more of this wreckage hidden under the ice and strewn all over this valley.
Farther across the ice, Luke came upon the remains of a TB-29 Super Fortress locked into the glacier since 1957. The wreckage and nearby memorial stood as a quiet reminder of the dangers this landscape has claimed before.
This is the bomber hut. This is one of the kind of public use little huts that anybody who's hiking through the mountains can kind of use to get out of the weather. That's pretty cool. You got a little stove and everything. You just bring your own fuel. That's the bomber wreckage right there. Let's see, and that's the bomber hut. That's Snowbird right there. Well, apparently anybody who wants to can go sleep in those huts. You don't need reservations or anything. It's just a free service for anybody in the mountains, but I got some miles to cover. Oh, look at that. That looks like bear poo to me. Your best chances of seeing a bear are late at night and early in the morning. So I really gotta keep my head on a swivel. It's almost midnight, it's getting dark. I've got to find a place to camp. And I've got to find a place to camp where I won't get eaten by a bear. This'll do. Look at how spongy and nice this is. Look how flat it is. And I don't think any bears are getting up here. My feet are wet and cold, and now that I'm not moving, my whole body is getting cold real quick. Oh. It's 12:07, guys, and we're just losing our last little bit of light. I'm gonna eat some food, drink my tea, and I'm getting in that bag.
As night closed in, Luke avoided crowded shelters and climbed higher after noticing signs of wildlife. He set up camp on exposed rock, relying on simple routines to manage the cold and isolation through the night.
Whew, made it up the ridge. Now I've got to tackle that thing. That's ice on that lake. Oh, I took a massive wrong turn and went up into that valley. I need to go up into that saddle instead. My legs are sore. All right, guys, we're on the glacier. Luckily, it's not too steep and the ice is pretty rotten, so it's not slick. We made it across the glacier. Now I need to climb up that thing. Oh, gotta stop and filter some more water. Whenever you're hiking with wet feet, it's really easy to get blisters. So as soon as you start to feel that skin getting raw, throw some moleskin or some band-aids on it. If you deal with it before it turns into a blister, your feet will last a pretty long time. We got the ruins of an old gold mine. You can see all the timber and steel. Looks like a rock slide took it out. Looks like there used to be another mine entrance over there. There's the mine ruins up there. You can see the steel cables run all the way down here, this little shack, and they continue on down to the valley floor.
The following day, Luke crossed Snowbird Glacier, dealt with foot strain, and reached the abandoned gold mint mine, bringing the long route to a steady conclusion. Some viewers wondered whether experience alone was enough to make up for missing equipment in a place that offers little forgiveness. When survival comes down to margins this thin, where does preparation truly stop and luck begin? On October 20th, 2025, Eleanor from Eleanor Grace Adventures set out alone across Dartmoor in England. Her channel usually focuses on calm solo hiking and wild camping, but this trip carried extra strain. Still recovering from a virus, Eleanor planned a no-tent overnight on open moorland, knowing her body had not fully caught up with her plans.
I just had to make a diversion, quite a big one, around Guttertor. All of a sudden I started hearing shots firing and lots of men yelling at each other, very close to where I was. Dartmoor is a military training area, but they tell you in advance online where and what times of day they're going to be firing, and it isn't here. I was outside of their boundary line because there's other people here as well, but I was like hiding behind the rocks on the tour, just like, please don't shoot me by accident. I'm going to move the car just down the road to like more enclosed type of car park. Okay, I have no idea where I'm going right now. This is taking it out of me already. I was here a couple of days ago and I tried to climb Sheep's Tor. I failed miserably. I didn't even get like a quarter of the way up. It's a very steep hike up there. I'm gonna give it another go because the views up there are meant to be spectacular. We're going all the way up there. This is where I gave up last time. Okay, I did that bit, but I need a break for a second. It's so tight on my chest right now. Come on, we can do this. We did it. I don't think there's anyone else camping here. We might have the place to ourselves.
The quiet beginning was suddenly broken by nearby gunfire and shouting. The shock made Eleanor stop, reassess, and move away, her breathing already tight from the walk. While climbing toward Sheep's Tor, chest pain became impossible to ignore. Each uphill step came with shallow breaths.
This is my little camp for the night. This is a obviously limited gear challenge.
I just really did not want to drag my tent up here as well.
So I got this new camping mat. It comes with one of those foot pumps. I've moved under here because, I'm slightly under a rock here and covered. It's getting quite dark now and I can hear owls everywhere. This thing is incredible and I'm chilly, but I'm not freezing. If it gets really bad, okay, then obviously I'm going to go and sleep in the car. I'm not going to give myself hypothermia. Right, so it's just after 9. I think I'm going to try and get some sleep. Probably the coldest point's going to be about just after midnight. I think I'm going to try and fall asleep and see how I get on. I'm not too cold, you know. Good morning. So I did the right thing last night. It started to get quite windy, quite chilly. I couldn't sleep. Oh, my legs. Where is it? It's raining a little bit. And it was the cold, icy drizzle rain, but my chest was bad. My body was aching like crazy at this point. Okay, this way. And I got under this very warm, thick swimming jacket, so it's like a blanket, basically.
Turning a familiar climb into something slow and uncomfortable. At camp, Eleanor settled beneath a rock overhang, using only an emergency blanket. Lying still made the ache in her chest more noticeable, intensified by the cold air and wind pressing in. By early morning, the pain had not eased. Cold, fatigue, and restricted breathing combined, and Eleanor decided to pack up, carefully making her way down by headlamp to rest inside her car. Viewers focused less on her gear and more on her breathing, sensing the strain long before she chose to leave. When the body sends such clear warnings, how far should determination really push back? On July 20th, 2025, a solo rider from Krikos Adventure continued her motorcycle journey through Assam, India, heading toward Kathmandu, Nepal. The channel follows long-distance solo riding and the real dangers found on unfamiliar roads. What seemed like a normal travel day played out among heavy trucks and narrow highways, an environment where risk moves quietly, and one small stop can suddenly change everything.
The Assamese people are waking up, starting the shops, collecting some garbage from the street. Yes, beautiful morning. I have no idea what is going on here. There are thousands of trucks is waiting on this side, and now we have 200 trucks coming this side. It's crazy. Oh, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. Ooh, get off, get off. Why are there so many trucks lined up like this? Oh my god, this is terrible choice. Terrible choice of road. This has to stop. And this is moment where you need the momentum to ride. Stuck like that car. Nee. This is like a Tetris. Try to fit and move around the tracks in the right way, cars in the right way, so everyone can fit on the road.
The ride began under steady pressure. Trucks packed close together slowed progress, their weight shaking narrow bridges and filling the air with exhaust. Every kilometer required focus.
Then came my second to last day. The heat was thick, the air was dry, I pulled over for a sip of water, and then I saw it. A truck, reversing, slow, blind, heading straight for my bike. I screamed, I waved, and then that sound. Metal, plastic, gun. Sadek, my companion through thousands of kilometers crushed in seconds.
Who is this?
I don't know what to say.
पहले सीधा करो गाड़ी
बोलो उसको निकाल देंगे ऐसे पर रखिए नहीं सीधा बोलिए इसको निकाल देंगे
गाड़ी एकदम जबरदस्त दिया था ना
सर ये चल जाएगा अब ये बच गया ये खाली
Windscreen is off. Well, partly of this is lost, some glass and stuff here. And then, of course, the truck hit this one, so I'm not sure if this is gonna touch my tire. But it looks okay, but I don't know.
वो कैसे पूरा गाड़ी खत्म कर देता
Why? Baby.
Later, during a brief roadside stop to drink water, the moment no rider wants arrived. A truck started backing up without seeing the parked motorcycle. There was no warning, only the instant when she realized there was no time left to react. When the noise ended, she stood still, looking at the damaged bike that had carried her thousands of kilometers. The shock was not only from the impact, but from how fast it had happened.
We're gonna try the bike now. I'm not really sure this is gonna work. We're gonna try completely push. I can see that the light is not working properly. Indicator's not working. Luckily, I wasn't hurt. That was the most important.
I rode slowly to the closest mechanic, still in shock, unsure how bad the damage really was. At Arun Honda, they welcomed me without hesitation. No questions, no judgment, just support. It was one of the best service experiences I ever had.
People are so kind here, eh? Honda. You're gonna take the chain and fix a little bit of there. The plastic, the windscreen is no point to doing anything. I do that back home in Sweden. Maybe a temporary fix in Kathmandu, we'll see. So we see here. Wow, it's just to remove this one. This is completely waste. Maybe I can put it on temporary, but this one, you see, it's broken. Everything works, indicator works, all the system here works. It's just plastic, you know. This one, it got bent off a little bit, so we're gonna take it down. Are fixing my windscreen temporary. Wow. Royal treatment, and she got some polish on her. And thank you.
She carefully rode on to a nearby Honda service center. The mechanics stepped in right away, fixing what they could and refusing any payment. The crash left its mark, but so did the unexpected kindness. Viewers focused on one truth above all else: the relief that she walked away unharmed from a moment that could have been much worse. When a journey can change in seconds, how much control does any rider really have? Bob and Marcy, the kind-hearted couple behind Mr. Bubba's adventures, are longtime fans of the outdoors who travel across America by van, following scenic highways and quiet backroads. In this story, they head toward Mount Hood, Oregon, filming another calm journey through shifting weather and thick fog before finally catching a clear view of the mountain they came to see. After staying the night nearby, they continue the next day into Mount Hood National Forest, picking a remote roadside area to camp.
Route 35 into Oregon towards Mount Hood.
Well, we're almost to Mount Hood, and the weather has turned a little bit. It's raining and it's pretty foggy. Wow, I hope we can see it when we get there after all this. The weather's finally starting to break, and you can see Mount Hood out in the distance.
I didn't want to say anything in front of Bob, but I did a great job picking a spot. Look at that.
What they don't realize at the time is that the region carries a dark past. News reports later reveal that a woman's remains were found along a Forest Service road in the same area, and investigators ruled the case a homicide. The disturbing part is the timing.
Remains of a woman 2 weeks ago off a Forest Service road close to Estacada. They believe she was killed recently.
Law enforcement tells me somebody out here in Estacada found her body just off this Forest Service road back on September 1st.
Bob and Marcy were camped there on the very night the incident is believed to have taken place.
Just as we were turning out the lights, our security cameras captured something very
Their van was fitted with security cameras, and as they settled in for the night, the system captured something unusual. The footage shows a faint, human-shaped figure moving near the campsite. It seems to walk, yet appears oddly see-through, as if it lacks a solid form. While it could be explained by lighting or visual distortion, the presence of something, or someone, near their van that night is clear. There is no proof the footage is tied to the crime, but the coincidence is hard to ignore. Would you feel safe finding something like this after learning what happened nearby? Or would the unanswered questions stay with you long after leaving the forest? Josh from the channel. Josh the intern is known for going far beyond normal routes, using satellite images to reach extremely remote locations. On this trip, he set out to locate a plane crash site, buried deep in a mountain forest, a wreck that has been sitting there since 1986. Before reaching the crash, Josh noticed a faint trail leading to the remains of an old structure.
It seemed to be the ruins of an old building, so I headed in for a closer look. But this is when I discovered something quite terrifying.
Someone definitely lives here. There's canned food. Someone definitely lives here. Maybe not all the time, but often enough, which is crazy, because this is really in ruins and in the middle of nowhere. Very creepy. Here's the bedding. Okay, this is really creepy. This is really creepy. There is photos of the same person up on the wall. Like this is a stalker's house or something. This is creepy. There's so many photos on the floor everywhere. This place is littered with the same photos of the same people. Look at all these photos. These are all photos of people. All photos of people on the floor. Tons of them. On the bed. I'm gonna get out of here. This is really creepy. I don't know why there's so many photos. That is one of the creepiest things I've ever found while hiking. Someone is living in there and I think someone is stalking people.
As I headed out of the building, I also found this smaller structure just by it. And inside there was a bed, along with what appeared to be rope.
After leaving that house, I feel like I'm being watched. All of a sudden feels very quiet and eerie around here.
Inside, it was obvious someone had been using the space. Canned food and personal belongings suggested repeated visits, even though the area was extremely isolated. What made the discovery unsettling were dozens of photographs spread throughout the building, many showing the same people again and again. Nearby, he came across a smaller shelter that held a bed and what looked like rope. As he was leaving, the area became eerily quiet, and he had the feeling he was being watched. The find left him shaken enough to contact authorities.
I just wanted to come in at the end of the video and just say sorry for such a serious, creepy and sad video. I realized when editing this that it's very different to the style of my normal adventures, which is very fun and silly. The topics and areas that I went into in this video were just were very serious, and so I didn't feel it'd be right to make a non-serious video. To give an update also on the location, now I am back in civilization. I have contacted the authorities. This was filmed a few months ago actually, so I contacted them, I sent them the location and photos of the area. I haven't heard anything back from them, so I'm not sure if there's been an investigation, but I've heard nothing more on that. But yeah, just so you know, I have contacted them, gave them all the information, and I do.
Giving them the location and the evidence he had found. Months later, no explanation ever surfaced. No investigation was made public, and the identity of whoever had been living there remains unknown. In a place that remote, the unanswered questions around that hidden structure and the photographs left behind make the encounter far more disturbing than the crash site he originally set out to find. Justin Chase is a young YouTuber whose content usually focuses on outdoor exploration and adventure. In this story, he tries something different. Instead of picking a location himself, he lets technology decide, asking ChatGPT to generate surprise coordinates for a place about an hour outside Johnson City that might work for a video. At first, the idea feels lighthearted.
What am I doing right now, dude? I asked ChatGPT to make our for us today. I asked, hey ChatGPT, I need you to give me coordinates to a location I can drive to. It should be about an hour away from here, Johnson City. Make it somewhere that would be good for a video, but I do not want you to tell me where it is. Make it a surprise. Thanks, bud. Love you. See you soon. Kissy emoji, heart emoji. I probably could have left that last part out. And sure enough, he very quickly got back to me because that's his job, people. He said, hey there, I've got a surprise destination for you just about an hour's drive from Johnson City. It's a unique spot that should make for an engaging video. I'll be the judge of that. Here's the coordinates. Plug these into your GPS and let the adventure begin. Can't wait to hear about your experience. Drive safe and have fun. Kissy face, heart emoji. We have kind of a thing going on, me and ChatGPT. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's kind of the whole vibe for today.
Justin enters the coordinates into his GPS and follows them without knowing where they will lead. But the directions take him deep into the forest, far from familiar roads or well-traveled paths. As he keeps going, the situation shifts from playful to unsettling. Partway in, Justin hears a low, animal-like growl coming from nearby. The sound immediately changes his mood.
Okay. This is, unfortunately, this was supposed to be a lighthearted video. I don't know what I said last, but I got probably halfway there and heard some kind of growl. I don't know what it was. I don't think it was a bear, but it certainly sounded, I think it was probably a mountain lion or something. I think that I'm pretty much done with being like an idiot on this channel and being totally reckless for really no reason. I really don't know what else to say at the moment. I don't know how I'm going to resolve this video, but that's also not really what I should be worrying about at the moment. I'm just going to focus on getting out of here at the moment.
What was meant to be a casual shoot suddenly feels dangerous, and his focus moves from filming to simply getting out safely. Before leaving the area, Justin stops to talk with a local man who is fishing nearby. Instead of guidance, he is given a warning.
Is there something right here to get to the other side of this or no? ChatGPT, you know what ChatGPT? Yeah. It sent me here and it sent me to some random location and it's up there, but I don't think there's anything actually up there.
Maybe a bear, yeah.
Yeah, is it high bear activity here?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of bears. They come in our backyard. There was one seen yesterday afternoon. On that side, there's a bear right there. But that side doesn't get explored a whole often, so that's where they're at probably. So, right. But they're black bears, yeah. The reason we can't camp here anymore is because of that. This little girl got, like, and her mom, like, got mauled. And, yeah, like, so they don't let people camp out here anymore.
The area has frequent bear activity, including recent sightings, and access has been restricted before because of serious incidents. The implication becomes clear. The sound Justin heard was likely a bear. What is most concerning is that he still went into the forest despite the warning. It is a reminder that curiosity and even good content can quickly become risky when nature is involved. Up next is Michael, a young outdoorsman with a growing interest in bushcraft and the creator behind the YouTube channel Add Outdoors. One video in particular stands out, a short film showing how, over several months, he hand-built a small rustic cabin and a wooden bench in a place that meant a great deal to him. The bench was intended as a gift for his mother, a quiet place where she could sit, watch the sunset, and enjoy the calm of an area he had loved since his early teens. Over time, Michael began noticing signs that someone else was also visiting the spot. Small rock arrangements appeared, and eventually a notebook was left behind by a stranger who shared the same appreciation for the place and praised his work. What felt like a rare and respectful connection made the project feel even more meaningful. But months later, everything changed. Michael returned to find the cabin completely destroyed, reduced to scattered boards.
About 8 months ago, I started building my mini log cabin. What took 6 months of hard work and effort led me to one of my greatest builds I've ever made. It was my first time really doing an outdoor boys style cabin. But now it is gone. Standing no more than a month, this cabin has now been reduced to a pile of sticks by God knows who and God knows when. And when I discovered this, I was extremely angry. And I'm still extremely angry. but I was shouting profanities into the wind for probably 20 minutes. Stuff that I should never repeat on camera or probably ever repeat again. And what angered me most, not necessarily the destruction of the cabin, but the bench that I made my mother for Christmas. It was completely uprooted, and that just drove me mad, because that was such a special gift to my mother, because she likes to often come out here and enjoy the sunset and a cup of coffee. And I guess you just can't have that in these woods. They just gotta take, whoever it is, gotta take everything from. Speaking of taking things, another thing that really made me mad was, one, the tarp that was on this cabin was just stolen. Definitely was not the wind that took that one. That was just deliberately taken. And on top of that, they took probably the most special item I've had in years. That notebook that stranger gave to me, complimenting me about the shelter. I felt so violated when I discovered that notebook was gone, because we shared so many, not super personal stories, but very deep and emotional stories about this area and the space that we love the most. And if you want to hear some of those stories, I highly recommend going and watch Cabin Build. I talk a little bit more detail about the wonderful things that we discussed. And while I am still in shock and pretty angry, a fire has started inside me to want to build something even greater than this. I had so many plans for this cabin in the winter. I really wanted to stay out here in a storm, but now I know that I have to work even harder to build another one, and I'm completely okay with that. I just really want to prove to those people who destroyed my cabin is that they didn't destroy me. They didn't destroy my creative abilities. They didn't destroy my love for making videos. And hopefully in the months to come, you'll see an awesome building video. And on top of that,
the bench had been ripped out, a tarp taken, and the notebook, the most personal item of all, was gone. What hurt most was not just the loss of the structure, but the violation of something built with care, purpose, and shared respect. Despite the anger and shock, Michael made it clear he was not finished. Instead of walking away, he plans to rebuild, stronger and better than before. The unanswered question remains: who would destroy something made purely for peace, and why? That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.